bottom right. Winter's Gate joining the stream once again. Our pink Protoss. It's Yosemite Spam in the top left. As our red Protoss, it's Standby. PvP action coming at you. Yosemite with the Probe Scout. Standby with the gate on the high ground. Once again, just tuning in, welcome. Welcome to the stream. We are in the second semifinals match. And this is Proxy Pylon. Not a full-on cannon rush. There's no forge behind this. He's just freaking Standby out. It's just like... almost Spooktober. Here's your Pylon. Get jittery. Gonna tilt ya. 2 gateways for a red toss, but gonna be a little bit behind where Mr. Spam is. And you know, I'm gonna make a caster prediction here, which means it might end up being wrong, but I think we're going to have a Zerg versus Protoss finals. Don't quote me on that. Like, you don't, like, this is just a secret between us, right? I can trust you guys. I don't want to look like an idiot if I'm wrong, but, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm right, because I'm just that great. I'm gonna be a Zerg versus Protoss. Safe bet. Red toss, throws on a forge and cancels it. Interesting maneuver. Standby, throws down a Nexus. Yosemite. It's thinking about it. Getting ready to. At that 400 minerals. Hallucinated Phoenix Scout from Yosemite, and this is something we saw in his previous games in this tournament. You know, that constant scouting, that constant keeping on top of what his opponent's doing, what he's going to be doing, and what he has been doing. Standby did opt to go for that forge eventually. Hallucinated Phoenix for Standby as well. Standby with slightly better macro, up 33 workers to 30. Yosemite Spam up in army supply though. Standby, flying by, a couple adepts coming out onto the map. But I'm not sure how much damage they're gonna do. I don't think it's gonna be very much at all. They're just gonna shade in, get the scout, cancel it. 1-1 on the way for a red player. Just charge and +1 for our pink. And that's gonna make standby a bit stronger. Depths shade into the main. Stalkers gonna DPS them down pretty quick, but at the cost of 3 probes. Standby still 4 probes ahead. 70, like an extra zealot. I mean, see, this is gonna be passive for a while here. Standby gets a 3rd base. 70 is adding on production. Charge is almost finished for both players. +1 finishing up for standby a little bit earlier. And remember, standby is going to have armor as well for any upcoming engagement. It's making him a little bit more resilient, a little bit more able to withstand Yosemite spam. Ultra mortal. Zergots. Disruptors, but they're like corruptors and disruptors, right? Well, you could go either way with that, because corruptors or disruptors both have half the names in them. Both players wanting to play it really safe. Totally even in supply there for a moment. Or Prism's moving forward. I think Yosemite spam wants to get aggressive. He's behind in army supply, but ahead in workers now. But it's marginal. It's totally marginal. Both players have quite a few force fields. Shield battery saving those probes, man. They're absorbing so many hits. My god. I think standby holds here. He has the nicer concave. Able to pick off the warp prism as well. Yeah, standby is going to come out ahead. Very nicely held. Yosemite. Continuing to macro behind this. Up 5 workers. Up 8 workers. Establishing his own 3rd. Now standby is going for the counterattack, and his army looks a little scary. A little frightening. Field batteries under fire. Oh man, this pylon's gonna go down. Shield batteries aren't gonna finish. Yosemite's trying to hold the line, but I think standby has just a little bit too much here. The final Archon will fall. Remember, those shield batteries are unpowered. Even the Immortal getting picked off. Probes are pulled to fight this. that worker supply is going to start plummeting. "26 workers go down. 30 workers go down. Oh my god, what a massacre here from standby. Here come the rest of the charge lots. Yosemite trying to hold the line as best he can, but it's just too much. This is overwhelming. This is power overwhelming from standby. Even the rest of the probes being pulled. My god, the probes killed an immortal. Or, no, there was a zealot in the mix. Okay. GG is called. Standby takes game number 1. Second map of the best of 5 gonna be World of Sleepers. In the bottom left, the pink Protoss, Yosemite spam. In the top right, a red toss. It's standby. No, if you guys know my fellow WCS caster, Steadfast, gotta be. This is like Steadfast is. Oh hey, thanks for the follow, Inflatable Thor. I swear we've met on ladder. I've seen your name somewhere, but you know, it's got to be like the twin of Steadfast, right? They're just locked in eternal rivalry. There's Yosemite spam. I refuse to call him by his other name. Yosemite spam is just too good. Yosemite chasing the Probu around. I mean, Yosemite kind of waited a little bit too long, I think, to move in the previous game. Standby was countered across the map. He held quite courageously. Countered across the map and just devastated the economy of Yosemite. Yosemite forced to tap out. Let's see what happens in game number 2, though. Standby. Picks off a probe. Depth shade forward. They slipped through the wall. That's not a full wall off. It's a little bit too far on the grid, and they will be able to get some probe kills. Sentries actually saving some probes. But the Adepts go to the low ground, and they pick off a sentry. This is huge damage here from Standby in the early game. Standby up 6 workers, able to get that sentry as well. Oh my god, he gets a second sentry. This is devastating damage. Yosemite tries to wall off, but it's too late. Living Adept makes it into the main. She will eventually go down. Not before getting 3 more probes. Stand by. Almost a dozen workers. Robotics facility. Finished back home for Red Protoss. Yosemite's tech not quite deployed yet. It's the gateway. As well as the cyber cores. Yeah, cyber core as well as the gateways. Standing up there for him. Forge for standby. That army supply count will continue to rise for him. Somebody's shading out, but like he's gonna do 0 damage to anything in this natural. It's just simply not going to happen. Yosemite, just scout the army composition plus. Okay, it looks like he's going to stop any type of third expand. Okay, actually, this could be okay. Standby for now, content to sit on 2 bases. Still up in economy. Happily mining away at that gas. Adding on a robo. Yosemite adding on a robo. Forge and Twilight. Warp Prism coming out for standby. As well as +1 being halfway done. +1 timing attack could be devastating here from standby. Stalker, Sentry, Immortal, Adept. Going to be the composition from standby. Try and eliminate Yosemite spam here in game number 2. Yosemite adding on a couple additional shield batteries. He has a few force shields, but down 24 army supply to 40 thanks to that early economic damage. As well as losing all those sentries. Sentry count from standby. Go to Yosemite. It's gonna try and hold the line. Shield batteries aren't finished yet. Nice force shields from Yosemite, but great force shields from standby. A lot of the army gets cut out in front. And it looks like standby has game number 2. Mortal's almost dead. Yosemite's gonna pull the boys again, but this is not a 3-base economy. This is a 2-base economy. Standby takes game number 2. In the top left, as our pink toss, it's Yosemite spam. In the bottom right, our red toss, it's standby. Standby up 2-0 in this best of 5. How is Yosemite be able to reverse this? Believe in the spam. Just tuning in. We are currently in game 3. And we back, boys. So I totally, my mind is blank on where I was in the commentary, but look, it's an eagle. Both these players are in the money already. They're into that juicy, dirty esports money. But 70 spam. He's gonna want more. He's gonna want to win the next 3 games. Cybercore dropped. Black screen. We are on the game screen. There is a 1-minute delay. Please, you know, chat that the house is burning down. Say something in chat if it's not fixed by then. I'm not dropping frames. Honka S. Oh my god. Yosemite stealing the gas. The red toss. Stalker coming out. Stalker Sentry for Yosemite. Forge the main for a red toss. Okay, thank you, Stalix. I really appreciate it. That gave me like a semi-heart attack. Sentry Stalker at the front. And a little bit of a further back forge for Yosemite spam. Now, Yosemite is heavily up in army supply, but down quite a few workers, 6 in fact. Twilight Council going down in the back, as well as a robotics facility for Yosemite spam. And Standby's Phoenix just sat there, didn't see it. That's a huge W for Yosemite. He's gonna see the robotics facility of his opponent. He's gonna see his blades whirring on the forge. Couple additional gateways being added on. Chrono Boost on +1 for a pink toss. But still down 9 workers. He has defense for an attack that was never coming. Standby. Going to throw down a 3rd Nexi. Additional production for red toss as well. And a fleet beacon enters the field. Once again, Standby sends in the Phoenix, but it doesn't scout. So let's take, he is not. He's only seen the Forge. He has no idea if there's a Twilight, no idea if there's a Robo. A little bit of a supply block from Yosemite that's going to be alleviated here shortly. Standby is totally safe to take that 3rd. Yosemite playing it too safe himself. Throws down a bunch of pylons. He gets ready to take his 3rd. Carrier is about to arrive. Well as +1 air weapons. It's only coming out 1 at a time though. think this is for intimidation factor right now. Air weapons 3 seconds away. Bam. Ready to take on Yosemite spam. Yosemite. Moving out onto the map. Moving toward that third base. There's a carrier. There's immortals. There's stalkers. There's zealots here to meet him. Standby is up 8 army supply. Plus 2 air weapons on the way. Carriers were being produced one more at a time. Second one has arrived. Hallucinated Phoenix sees some of the army, not all of it. Standby thinks about just moving across the map. He's actually going to pull back. Yosemite getting a surprising amount of damage done at this third. Standby moves forward. Stalker shut down the Warp Prism. A nice recall saves most of the army. And Yosemite actually evening up the worker supply, but I think Standby is just going to go for the kill here. He's up 68 army supply to 36. Maybe he's not. Oh man, Warp Prism heads out far ahead of the army. Alright, here he goes. Force field tries to cut off some of the stalkers. Standby gets ready to engage. Interceptors just shooting the rocks. That's a lot of interceptors to lose to the rocks. And both players engaging here. Remember, one of these carriers is pretty much useless. But still enough interceptors to distract the army. Ground army of Standby gets off enough shots. He's going to push up the ramp here. He's up 62 to 34. More volleys being fired. Interceptors replenishing on the carriers. More and more pink Protoss units going down. What? Mortal focusing down a zealot. And I think Yosemite's held against all odds. Standby. Can't quite go back in yet. Standby moves up the ramp for another engagement. That's a lot of charge lots. Interceptors putting in the work. Archon spinning madly, launching energy beams into the air. Standby strafes back. And Yosemite keeping it cool, grabbing a fourth behind this. Standby doing the same on the other side. Yosemite actually up 75 to 62 workers, but how is he going to be able to hold this? I think the answer is by just shooting them with cannons. Still 3 carriers. The ground army is cleaned up, but only an Archon left for Yosemite. Still quite a lot of interceptors on these carriers. Gonna begin gunning down the pylons. There's a couple zealots joined in the fray. Standby backs off. He was able to pick off the third, able to pick off 15 probes. Still behind in that probe count, though. Yosemite has a fighting chance. He only has 2 Archons to deal with these carriers, but there's a shot in the dark. There's a chance in hell. It's another kill on that third. That was not a cancel. Spin, Archon, spin. $70 is supply blocked. Stand by. Sending the carriers into the main. He's going to target the Artosis pylon. Holy crap! Oh my god! That Artosis pylon, 7 gateways get unpowered. There's no replenishing this army for Yosemite until he repowers this. A warping of charge lots doing work on the rest of the production. Gonna try and get these pylons shut down as well. Yosemite spam doing his best to fight this off, but carriers then attacking the natural. Warp prism goes down. Stand by. Decimating the worker count, even clearing up the rocks of his opponent. There goes the Nexus. There go the probes. And this is not enough Archon firepower to clean this up, but stand by. Gonna back up a little, as the Zealots and the Immortal have defended the carriers. Yosemite still mining in the bottom left, but stand by up to a solid 5 bases. More carriers coming up behind this. Another warp prism, shields, Zealots. You know, just a menagerie of things. Yosemite able to get his production back up, but only 1 fully mining base. Stand by up 66 workers to 30. Oh my god. Yosemite had the opportunity to pick off a carrier, didn't quite focus fire it. Templar in the back's gonna get fried. Stand by, chasing Yosemite across the map. Yosemite making a beeline for the third. Charge lots going to try and delay this army from moving in. Stand by, comes in from behind with a nice arc. Takes off the first Archon, second Archon's down. And this army is melted. GG is called. Standby takes the series 3-0.